You look fantastic in the mirror, but the moment someone takes a photo, you suddenly look 20 pounds heavier. Your waist looks wider, your face looks rounder, and your entire body looks like a flat, heavy brick trapped inside a digital box. You blame the lens, you blame your outfit, or you say, I am just not photogenic. That is a lie. You do not have a genetic flaw that makes you look wide. You just present your body to the camera like a flat, wide target. Your camera is a two-dimensional machine. If you stand flat, it records you flat and wide. Photography is about choosing how shapes look inside a frame. I am Mr. Simple, and I use the simplest, least awkward ways to help you master photography. Today, we will fix your photo weight problem permanently. No digital editing, no cheap filters, just 5 simple structural shifts that eliminate visual weight instantly. Shift 1. The triangle rule. Never parallel legs. Let us dive right into the first major structural shift, the triangle rule, or the law of the independent legs. When someone shouts smile, most people freeze into a monolith stance, standing with their feet perfectly parallel, locking their knees, and distributing weight evenly 50-50 between both legs. This turns your lower body into a solid wall of fabric. By gluing your feet together, you remove all negative space between your legs, forcing the viewer's brain to process your entire lower half as one singular column. The fix requires you to banish parallel feet from your life forever. Your legs must never be roommates. They must be passing acquaintances. Whenever a camera is pointed at you, slide 1 foot backward or forward. Place 90% of your weight onto your back leg, the one furthest from the lens. This single physical shift forces your front leg to naturally relax, causing your front knee to drop and bend slightly inward toward your center line. Look at what happens to your silhouette when you make this adjustment. By shifting your weight to the back and bending that front knee, you instantly create a beautiful, dynamic triangle of empty space between your thighs and your calves. Triangles create vital visual breathing room. That tiny window of empty space between your legs tells the camera sensor that you have an organic shape, narrowing your lower profile by cutting the perceived width of your hips in half. It completely shifts you from a heavy statue into a living story. Shift 2. Creating the S-curve. Reject parallel lines. Once you have fixed your foundation, you must tackle the second major mistake, parallelism of the upper body. This brings us to our second shift, rejecting parallel lines and creating the S-curve. When you stand square to the lens, with your shoulders aligned with the glass, you present the maximum possible cross-section of your form. This deletes your natural contours and turns your torso into a thick, two-dimensional sticker. To break this trap, your shoulders and hips should never face the same direction. Rotate your torso approximately 45 degrees away from the lens. Turn your body slightly to the side while keeping your face directed toward the glass. This simple turn instantly reduces the visual width of your chest and shoulders by nearly 1/3 because your weight is anchored on your back leg. This turn will cause your hips to tilt at an angle. Drop your front shoulder slightly while raising your opposite hip to create the cinematic S-curve. Furthermore, create the arm sanctuary. Never let your arms hang limp against your sides. When your upper arm is pressed against your torso, the camera flattens them together, making your arm look twice as wide and your waist look twice as thick. Pull your elbow slightly back away from your body, or put your hand partially in your pocket, using the 80-20 rule where 4 fingers go in and the thumb stays outside. Creating a gap of negative space defines your true torso width, letting the background show through and carving away inches of imaginary visual weight. Shift 3. Strategic occlusion, visual truncation, also known as the art of the visual amputation. Amateur photographers think you must show the entire person clearly from head to toe. But great photography is never about showing everything. It is about choosing exactly what to hide. Strategic occlusion means using the environment as a shield to crop your body naturally before the camera records it. The world is filled with geometric filters. A restaurant table, a ledge, a pillar, a railing, a wall, or a coffee mug. If you are feeling self-conscious about your midsection, do not try to hide it by sucking in your stomach. Instead, step behind an object, sit behind a desk, or let a foreground element, like the leaves of a houseplant, cut across the lower third of your frame. This works because of a modal perception. Leaning your body weight against a structural element removes that stiff tension that makes you look like a robot. Your body relaxes into a natural diagonal line, absorbing your nervous energy directly into the architecture of the world. Shift 4. Shadow contouring, shaping with contrast. The fourth shift takes us into the physics of how cinematic images are constructed, the shadow contouring system. Most people think light is simply a tool to help the camera see, so they stand under harsh overhead lights or use a front-facing flash. This is a massive mistake. Frontal light flattens a three-dimensional human being into a flat piece of paper, making your face and body look much wider than they are. Shadow is how the camera creates feeling, depth, and structure. Shadow is the ultimate contouring tool available for free. To look lean, seek out directional light. Stop standing in open spaces where light hits you from every direction. Instead, find a singular light source, like a window, an open doorway, or a street lamp. Position yourself so the light hits your body from a side angle, roughly 90 degrees or 45 degrees to the side. One half of your body will be beautifully illuminated, highlighting your structural lines, while the other half softly recedes into a deep shadow. This shadow acts as a visual eraser for the camera sensor, wrapping around your waist, arms, and jawline, visually trimming away everything it touches. The viewer's eyes are drawn to the brightest part of the image, focusing only on the illuminated, narrow profile of your shape, ignoring the rest that has dissolved into the dark. Shift 5. Avoid the frontal face, lens distortion. Finally, we arrive at the fifth and most powerful shift of all, a rule that will instantly change your entire portrait game. Avoid the frontal face. This is the peak of the camera robot syndrome. The second someone points a lens at us, our survival instinct kicks in, and we square our face directly up to the glass like we are posing for a passport photo. You must break the direct gaze and turn your face away from the lens. Even a micro adjustment of turning your head just 15 degrees to the side can completely transform your jawline. When you turn your head slightly away, you transition from a flat map of a face to a sharp, angular architectural profile. The camera can see the ridge of your nose, the sharp line of your cheekbone, and the clean separation between your jaw and your neck. Combine this turn with what I call the turtle method, where you push your entire forehead slightly forward and down toward the lens right before the shutter clicks, and you will instantly stretch the skin under your chin, erasing any hint of a double chin and creating a dramatic shadow under your jawline. On a flat sensor, it looks sharp, lean, and highly professional. The deeper philosophy of the frame. When you combine these 5 structural shifts into a single system, your photography changes. The triangle rule fixes your foundation. The S-curve breaks parallel lines. Strategic occlusion uses the environment to filter out extra volume. Shadow contouring carves deep lines into your silhouette, and avoiding the frontal face eliminates distortion while revealing the sharp architecture of your features. You have become the active director of your own image, letting your body tell a story through shape, light, and movement. Most people spend their lives hiding from cameras because they have internalized the lie that they are unphotogenic. But your body is not a mistake that needs to be corrected by a computer program or a filter. It is a complex structure of lines and angles that requires an understanding of perspective. Once you master the structure of seeing, the camera ceases to be an enemy and becomes a tool that honors you. Remember this, photography is not the art of adding things until a frame is full. It is the absolute discipline of subtracting the noise until only the truth remains, because a line in motion will always tell a deeper story than a shape in captivity. If you want to understand the deeper philosophy of visual design, hit the subscribe button right now and join our studio community. Leave a comment below telling me which shift you will try first. I am Mr. Simple, and I use the simplest ways to help you master photography. See you in the next one. Peace.